Brotherhood and friendship. Friendship is brotherhood, and in its most sublime meaning it is its most beautiful ideal. The Almighty in the Quran says, meaning, "Verily the people who believe are brothers to one another, you improve the relations between your brothers, fear Allah." Surah Al-Hujurat, Ayat 10. Sultan went home and put his briefcase on the nightstand. It was so hot outside that the boy immediately thought it would be good to have a glass of cold water now, or better yet, two. He went into the bathroom, washed his hands, washed his face with pleasantly cool water and went into the kitchen. Mother was preparing dinner. Sultan said hello, got a glass and poured himself some water from the carafe. It was good, he thought, greedily gulping down the water. Though he was not hungry because of the heat, he looked into the pan through the transparent lid. Pilaf with dried fruits. He was immediately hungry. And also a pie, Sultan noticed, glancing at the working oven. He went out into the corridor and headed into the hall. Dad was sitting there with his phone and a notebook, counting something. Sultan knew that his father had to do a lot of counting for work. The boy decided that when he grew up, he would also be in business and he would have to count a lot too. Sultan loved counting, he always got straight A's in math. Sultan said hello to his father. "Wa alaikum as-salam," Dad replied. Dad averted his eyes from his calculations and looked at Sultan and asked, "How is school going?" "School is fine. Alhamdulillah," answered Sultan. He immediately remembered something, sighed and added, "But in the yard, not so much." "What happened in the yard?" Dad asked. "On my way back from school," Sultan explained, "I saw two boys fighting in our yard." "And what did you do?" Papa asked. "What was I supposed to do?" Sultan was surprised. "It was not me who was fighting. I walked past and went home." "And you didn't try to stop them, to break them up?" Papa asked. "You didn't tell them to stop?" "No," Sultan shrugged. "I don't even know them." "Well, I saw them come out of our porch once or twice, and I think I saw one in the mosque. But I don't even know their names. We just moved into this house." "It doesn't matter, Sultan, whether you know their names or not," Dad said. "If Muslims are fighting in front of us, we have to try to stop it and reconcile them." "Reconcile them?" Sultan asked again. "Well, yes," the Pope affirmed. "Because reconciling people is a very good, very worthy thing to do. That's what the Quran and the Sunnah say. For example, Allah Almighty said, 'Verily, the believers are brothers. Therefore reconcile the brothers.'" The Sultan sighed. "And I didn't know that. I thought, if they are fighting, then it is their business, so why should I interfere since I don't know them?" "Now you know what to do in cases like this," Dad said. "You have to reconcile the Muslims wherever possible." The Sultan thought for a while and then asked, "Does it apply to adults too?" "Well, if adults see other adults arguing, do they have to reconcile them too?" "Of course," Dad nodded. "That's what we all try to do. If we find out someone has a fight, we try to reconcile those people, help them work out their differences and become friends again and act like brothers." "Does this make a big difference?" Sultan asked. "Of course," Dad nodded. "When people argue, fight and stop talking to each other, it is very bad. Because, you know, it is hard to treat someone you just quarrel with as your friend and brother." "Yeah," Sultan agreed. "But when things calm down and you make up with the person and your friendship is restored, everything falls into place and relations between people return to the way Allah has prescribed." Sultan nodded. "I understand. Now, if I see someone fighting or quarreling, I will try to help them reconcile." "That's good," his father praised him. "I hope it won't take long for those boys to make up." "Maybe they have already made up," suggested Sultan. "Insha'Allah," said Dad. Sultan thought a little more and then said, "But it doesn't always work out." "What?" said Papa. "Well, reconciling people," Sultan explained. "I think it is very difficult sometimes." "I agree," Dad nodded. "Sometimes it doesn't work at all. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try. Sometimes a fight is really serious and it takes time for people to make up and stop being angry with each other. But the person who tries to reconcile quarrels gets a big reward for it." Mama called them to dinner, and Sultan followed his father into the kitchen. After dinner the boy went to do his homework. And in the evening, when his mother sent him to the store, Sultan, coming out of the house, saw those same boys. They were sitting together on a bench and talking about something. "All's well that ends well," thought Sultan as he opened the door of the entryway.